Welcome back, guys. So we'll be diving into a form audit, specifically here looking at RDLs. This one was submitted by Brandi. She says, "Hi Nick, I've been watching your podcast on YouTube and wondered about feedback on my RDL. I'll attach a video and love some critiques. I feel a bit of achiness in my upper back when I do them." We will dive into exactly what I think is going on with her RDL, but more generally speaking, I want to just dive in. How should we be setting up for an RDL? How should we be executing? What are some key points for us to be looking at, whether we're critiquing ourselves or our clients? And this will troubleshoot for a variety of issues, whether it's upper back, crankiness, low back, just a lack of glute development, all these things. So if you guys like this style, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Email is down below if you'd like to submit a video for form audit or for program audits. Both those options are available, and I'll get you on here. So now, without further ado, hop into it. Starting out here, a couple of things I want to look at. First and foremost is going to be, what is our setup looking like? And typically I want our stance width to be hip width. So for her, stance width looks very good, and we're kind of troubleshooting an RDL. What are we looking for? We're looking to get, hip extension, mainly challenging the glutes. What do the glutes do? The glutes mainly do, I'm talking about the bulk of the glute max, hip extension and hip external rotation. So I want to get into a position where I can get lots of length, hip flexion, and hip internal rotation. I want more of a hip width, foot straight stance. I can get better hip internal rotation. So that's good. Next thing I'm going to look at, this is a reason why I kind of I'm not trying to gatekeep the barbell. I don't think there's a right to be earned with the barbell, but I think a lot of people are going to do exactly what Brandi's doing here, where you can see her shin is negative, right? Her knee is either over or behind her ankle. Now, knee over ankle is not a bad thing, but she's really pushing back into her heels. Toes, if we kind of play this, for a few reps, are coming up a little bit. And kind of a big reason why I think that is for a lot of people is because the weight's too far out in front of them. Now, this is actually not bad. The weights aren't tracking too far away, but she's holding the dumbbells like a barbell. And typically with dumbbells, I want to cue more of a neutral grip. So more thumbs forward. This will help us with a couple of things. One, it'll keep the weights closer to us. It's also why I love the trap bar. Weight's going to be closer to us. We can keep our center of mass more condensed or over that midfoot, so we can just manage a stronger position that we can move through typically without falling back into our heels. Now, the next thing is going to be, we can also engage our lats better. If we think about the core, and bracing, we always think about, rectus abdominis and external and internal obliques and transverse abdominis. And it's yeah, those are all very important for bracing, but we have these massive slabs of muscle on our backside that also help a lot with bracing. So this is also our link from the weight to our lower body, right? We're loading through the shoulder joint or holding weight through the shoulder joint. So going to more of a neutral grip will, one, help us control our center of mass better over that midfoot so that we're in a stronger position for output and so we can move better through our hips. It will also help us just engage the lats better for a better brace. So how does that contribute to this? Well, it's we're back into our heels a little bit, and you can kind of see a couple of things where she's fighting the hinge. And this is really the bulk of what I told her. I kind of just set up an intro into this. Her chin's up a little bit, her head's kind of up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that at all, but contextually I'll tell us why we might want to change that position. Two, it's almost like she's fighting, scaps are back a little bit. And I think too, whenever we're with the bar right in front of us, it's harder to engage our lats. We're just going to use more things like traps and rhomboids to kind of, engage and brace. So generally speaking, I would maybe tuck the head forward just a little bit. I would bring the weights more by our sides. That will help pull our center of mass more forward. So again, I'm not trying to necessarily manipulate the spine, but if my head drops forward a little bit, that'll kind of pull my center of mass forward a little bit like a counterbalance. So that's what I'm looking forward to do here. And then generally speaking, I would just cue a more positive shin angle. Do we need a positive shin angle to effectively, execute an RDL? No, we don't need to. But if we are somebody who tends to get back into our heels, I have a hard time maintaining a strong position over the midfoot, then yeah, I would actually over cue and cue a slightly forward shin angle, because then we're probably going to end up in a much better spot. So yeah, that's a big thing here. I would start out with, fixing the position of the weight, so that it's more by our sides. Maybe drop the head forward a little bit more, but mainly fix position of the weight, and then mainly push the shins forward a little bit more to get to a stronger position. I think that will really clean up a lot of her discomfort that she's feeling here. So if you guys are interested in me doing a form audit for yourself or a program audit for yourself, please submit it to the email below. If you guys are interested in online coaching options, link down below for coaching, as well as coaches who are looking for advisory services to help out with their own clients and their own business. I have a link down there below. You can book a free call with me. No strings attached. Always happy to help out however I can, and I will see you guys next time.